So, good morning. So, today I'm going to carry on a bit about the beliefs I spoke about yesterday. So, if you didn't see it, by all means watch it. It's on my feed, on my features. But I think beliefs is something that I think we absolutely can destroy or make our life. And I know that might sound extreme. Beliefs are merely thoughts that we keep telling ourselves again and again. And all our beliefs are set by the age of 7, which is quite scary if you're a parent, because I always said my daughter, like, she's now 24, I said, go to therapy because whatever you've done, I've bound to have mucked you up. So I think it's really important that we think about our beliefs and actually think what ones serve us and what ones don't. And as I said, sometimes it takes a bit of time to unpick those beliefs that no longer serve us. And that's something that obviously I have conversations with people to do that. But I think what's really important, that maybe you're finding that you're not showing up with impact in the boardroom. Maybe you're finding that you kind of feel overwhelmed. Maybe you find that you're always saying yes when you want to say no. And that is all down to deep-seated belief of a fear of rejection. If I say no to them, they might not like me. And I bet you, obviously that sounds like sort of childhood stuff, but that's the point. We set our beliefs up as a child and can take that thinking into adulthood unless we unpick it. But the great news is we can change our beliefs. We can tell ourselves a different story. So, for example, why is it important now? It's so important now because these beliefs are actually stopping us performing the way we want to do, having the life that we deserve. So, for example, when I first started my business, I knew nothing about business at all. I knew that my mission was going to be ending workplace toxicity, and I wanted to help as many people as I could, and leaders, and to show up with impact and influence, deliver workshops and so forth, which is what I was doing when I was in the army. I was traveling around the world speaking and doing training as supervising students as a university senior lecturer. So I just thought I'd just carry on doing that in my own business. Now, I knew nothing about sales or marketing or PR. I hadn't even posted on social media. That was the standing start that I had. And I said to myself, I hate sales. Who wants to sell? I don't want to be like a car salesman, although there's some amazing car salesmen now. So please don't judge if you're a car salesman, because I've bought some great cars with some amazing car salesmen. But I think it's that whole icky sale thing. So I told myself I'd be no good at sales, and I was rubbish, and I didn't like it anyway. So why would I want to do it? Well, that's a bit of a tricky thought to have when you have a business. So I decided to change my thinking. I love sales. I love having conversations. I love this. And it's amazing how you can change your thinking simply by changing what you say to yourself. So notice what you say to yourself. If you went into an exam and said, oh, I'm not going to remember this, I don't know the answers, it's going to be a really tricky exam, it's going to be a tricky exam. And the whole thing, like Henry Ford famously said, if you can, you can, you can't, you can't. And that is absolutely true. So have a think about, what are you saying to yourself? Is this a belief that you've created in yourself from having a thought so many times? Because you can change a thought. And this is why it's so important to notice what you're saying to yourself, because that becomes the blueprint how your day goes. And so I think just notice. So if you switch I hate or I dislike or I don't or I can't, all those negative words, just switch it to the opposite of the positive. And I talk about like flipping a coin. Imagine it's the other side of the coin. What is the other side of the coin for that? Because that can absolutely transform your day. And the more you say it to yourself, I'm great at sales, I love sales, is going to happen. And I'm not talking about just sales, but if you imagine, I'm sure some of you love cats, love dogs, but if you don't love cats or you don't love dogs, you can interpret dogs as scary. They bite, they yappy, they're all the negative things. Cats, they scratch you and they scratch you. They don't like them. So if you go and see a cat or a dog, or it comes across you in the street or whatever, they will pick up that energy. And of course, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. They might scratch you because they're scared, or they might bark because they're scared of you. And so therefore, we look for what we want to look for. So our subconscious needs confirmation. So why don't you make sure your subconscious is looking for the confirmation of things that really empower you? So that's my tip for the day. And if you want to know more, I'll put my diagnostic in the chat, which is free, 2 minutes, just to find out how resilient you truly are. And I'll speak to you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.